Today I was thinking about all the memories I have from going to church. You know, all the very few good memories I have, and the abundance of mediocre and shitty memories I have. But one prevalent thing I remember about going to church is it's so goddamn boring. Going to church is the most boring, dull thing ever. So mind-numbingly fucking boring. It's ridiculous how fucking boring it is. It just is. Like, I was trying to think of actual interesting and fun things about going to church, and the only things I could think of is if you're a kid, sometimes you get to go to the little VBS thing afterwards, you know. Like, they have this little event or whatever after the church service happens, and it's called VBS, and you know, kids can just go do some little fun things and activities and whatnot, and sometimes that was fun. Yeah. And the other thing I could think of is sometimes there's food afterwards, after the church service. Sometimes, you know, the church has food, and you can eat food. Yeah, those are the only things I could think of that were even remotely interesting or fun about going to church. I couldn't think of anything else, because the majority of being at church or going to church is just boring. You're just fucking sitting there listening to someone drone on and on and on and on and on, never shutting up. And usually what I did was I either would just think about something I was going to do after church. You know, I kept thinking about that. So, like, the fun or cool, interesting thing I wanted to do after church, like play a video game or watch something or listen to some music or something. I would think about that the entire time, and that would get me through church. Or sometimes I would think of or imagine stuff happening while I was at church. You know, like, what if the preacher got so passionate that during his sermon that he knocked down the podium for some reason? Or what if the preacher farted really loudly during his sermon and caused everyone to laugh? Or more extreme and wild things, like, what if a fucking meteorite came crashing through the church window or the church wall all of a sudden? Or what if the curtains that are usually hanging on the wall, you know what I'm talking about, what if they caught on fire during the sermon? Yeah, I would think of stuff like that, because just to entertain myself, because church was so fucking boring. It just so fucking boring. And that's the main thing that I remember about it, and that's surprisingly one of the main reasons why I stopped going to church, is because it's just so fucking boring. Yeah.